Oh, I was still dancing to the music because it is Tuesday night and the final whistle is here to talk Alabama football, not the Yankees who are currently choking to the Red Sox. Because, guys, if you weren't paying attention, that Alabama Crimson Tide got their Father's Day card and invitation to go up to Athens and do what they do and kick some Bulldog ass. And now we get a letter in the mail that says not JP at 11 o'clock, but game day is here for Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt. And me and the Avengers are here to talk about it all. Guys, the season's heating up. Let's freaking go. We got a jam-packed show. I got my all-star crew. And let's do this. I'm going to introduce you. We're going to give a rundown of the show. We're going to talk a little sponsors, and we're going to talk some damn Alabama football because guess what? We finally saw it last Saturday night. But with me is they were switching around. Stuff switching around on me quick. Before we do that, I'm going to give a little love to the crowd. We don't do that out of the gate. Latoya, I got to roll tide. Roll tide, Latoya. I know you're ready for this weekend. James Latoya? Clark, roll tide. Jeff Stapleton. What is up? Who all
we got here?
Biggs in there. Guys, get this chat going. Let's get rolling tonight, and let's get rolling with that man that gets rolling with the ladies in the homes, the man with all the moves, the man with the Jedi power. Dan James, what is up, good sir?
What is up? Happy Tuesday, y'all. Hey, how does it feel to be an Alabama Crimson Tide this Tuesday?
How does it feel, Van Edwards, to be an Alabama Crimson Tide after this week?
24-hour rule, boys. I'm focused on Vandy now. Beating Georgia's great, but we know where we were at last year at the same situation. So it's time to move on. We've had our fun with it, but that don't make a championship. So moving forward, y'all.
Lou, this man's focused on the process. Are you focused on the process this Tuesday night?
Well, obviously it's Tuesday. You know, I had to respect the 24-hour rule by all means necessary. At the same damn time, I want to ask my main man, Final Whistle Dan, how it feels to be an Alabama fan in Georgia right now. That's what I'm curious about.
Man, I haven't heard a dog bark in 3 days, man. It's been crickets, man. It's been crickets. You know, I mean, my phone was going off all before kickoff. I mean, it was just going off. You know, people go dogs, go dogs, go dogs, go dogs. You're going down today. Now it's crickets. It feels good.
Nothing but a bunch of cats roaming around Georgia right now. Okay,
that's right.
Like I said last year, that dog catcher got him. But I'm ready for tonight, baby. You know, we got something to settle, and we get a great opportunity to talk about that tonight, and I can't wait to get into it with the Avengers. Thanks everybody for coming out. Petty, let's get this shit started.
Let's get this shit started. And you said it, Lou. I mean, look, there was the segment you made for this show was made for tonight. The elephant in the room. The reason game day's here, the reason there is Diego Mania even exists is because what happened in Nashville around this time last year when he beat this very Alabama Crimson Tide and had our defense on skates all damn night. Elephant in the room. Can this defense fix what took them down last year? We're going to talk about it. But before we do, we're going to touch on that game in Athens. We got a little more love to that big victory against, you know, our little boy, Georgia Bulldog, Kirby on the knee. We're going to talk about that a little more before we move on. And then we're talking Vandy. And we're talking Vandy scouting report. And guys, then one of the most we've talked about linebackers, we've talked about the defensive line, which is going to be very important, obviously, for this game because it's what hurt last year, but also no more important group to stopping this offense than that secondary coming up Saturday night. We're going to discuss what is the best rotation to do that. So, guys, get in that chat, get those questions rolling, get in there and hit that like, hit that subscribe. But before you do that, you're going to need to go to Whitwell Sports because we got a little sponsor we got to give some love to. There is a wave rising in the South, and it is not the ocean. It's the Tidal Towel, the ultimate symbol of Bama power, brought to you by WhitwillSports.com. Whether you're in Bryant Denny or repping from your living room, the Tidal Towel brings the heat. Crimson, bold, unapologetically Alabama. And right now, you can waive yours for less. Use the promo code WHISTLE at checkout and get 20% off at whitwillsports.com today. Join the wave the power, get your title towel today at Whitwill Sports so you can wave it in the face of all those Commodores that are going to try to come down in their swarms of probably 20 people and invade Bryant-Denny. All right, guys, let's talk about it. It's the elephant in the room, man. It's look, and you said it best, man. This is what we do at Alabama, right? You win the big game, 24-hour rule, you turn the page. But this is a page you're turning to that your defensive coordinator, and I know it's Vandy. I'm assuming this game is one of the ones that kept him up throughout the summer. He'd wake up at 2 a.m. and throw in some game tape to fix some shit. So this is it, guys. Can Bama stop that flex bone? And that, I mean, it's like a basketball on football field, right? Diego Pavia is the point guard, throwing it this way, throwing it that way. Can Bama stop that run, Dan James?
Listen, it's gonna take, Tim Keenan coming back was a huge difference. Georgia tried early, then they said, he stuffed it. And Georgia said, okay, we're not doing this tonight. So they found a problem that we have, and that's on our edge. We're still struggling to be able to set the edge. That's going to be on our DBs. Bray Hubbard, outside of him, we tend to struggle with that. Bray Hubbard did a tremendous job in run support, but unfortunately, everyone else struggled with it. So it's going to take, the way this defense is, it just is what it is now. It's going to take our corners and safeties being physical, in run support. It just is what it is, man. So we really got to improve in that. And we got exposed as far as that, this week. And listen, another thing, Bray is not going to be able to play in the box as much as he did this week, because like you say, with that flex bone, they're going to be attacking the edges as well as the seams. So, we got to be honest. Don't fall for the eye candy. The inside run shouldn't be as big of a factor. It won't in this. So, we really got to watch. We got to contain Pavia. We'll get more into that, but we really are struggling with setting the edge, and that's where our run defense is. That's the part of the game that's killing us.
And you're absolutely right. And Van, you talk about turning the page. Have we turned the page from last season? And this game to the defense has, better yet, has Kane Womack turned the page in the defensive playbook to find the one that's going to work against this offense?
Man, I'm over here trying to be more positive with my takes, and y'all come up with this one. This is the most elephant in the room question we've had since I've started doing this with y'all.
Oh, yeah.
As I see it right now, we can't stop the run. I'm not going to lie to myself, and I damn sure ain't going to lie to y'all. I want to believe. I really do. But what I see tells me a different story, man. Go back to that disastrous first game against FSU when Tommy C and the Florida State Funky Bunch ran around, over, and through our defense. They had like 230 rushing yards. It seemed like 500. And the defense, they looked as hopeless to stop it as I did watching it. So more concerning still, FSU's leading rusher was their quarterback. And, he was instrumental in converting key third downs, keeping their drives alive. And you fast forward to last weekend. And, Georgia never held a lead in the game, but the running game kept them in the ball game. 227 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. They were averaging almost 7 yards a carry. They gashed us up the middle. They got us to the outside. And I see all this, and I doubt our ability to stand up to Vanderbilt's rushing attack. Not trying to be negative, and I don't want to downplay what Alabama has accomplished. But in the grand scheme of things, beating Georgia means diddly shit if we can't beat everyone else on our schedule as well. So, that's kind of where I'm at right now, man.
And, man, good Lord. About a mic drop, but I know a man that likes to drop the mic. And look, For all you fans that were with me on the Bama Standard in the previous hour, I made reference to a text I got actually a couple texts that I got during the Georgia game, that if we had linebacker play right now, this wouldn't be a ball game. The man I'm going to next was the one who sent me that text. Lou, this is your baby, elephant in the room. Diego Pavia against this linebacking core. It's hard to shake what happened against Florida State. It's really hard to shake what happened last year in Nashville. We have not forgot. We do not forget. Can they stop it, Lou?
Oh, you know, when I come up with these elephant in the rooms, sometimes I don't really think how deep this question could cut. But this one tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to take a Luke Skywalker green saber to it because I'm going to hack it to pieces. The answer is an unequivocal absolutely not. Bama cannot stop the run. What Bama can do is contain the run. We do not have the linebackers to stop a run game this season. And here's why I'm saying that. Because out of 4 games, we have given up 225 plus on the ground. Now, we won one of those games, and we just barely got out of winning the other one. Or we lost the first one, and we barely won the second one. So if you look at the numbers, and you look at what team we're going against, and what they do best is not what Alabama defends best. Sure, we could get them in the passing game, but as far as what they do running the ball with Diego Papa, whatever douche's name is, you know, he's good at what he does. Do I like him? Absolutely not, but I respect his game. He's a tough-nosed football player, and he knows how to hurt you. This offense came in last year and stunned us, and we haven't done anything throughout last season or this season to tell me that we can stop the run. Now, what we can do, what Alabama can do, which I think Kane Womack is going to do, is he's going to do his best to contain the run. Now, what I mean by contain the run is we're gonna make other people beat us besides Diego Pavia. I think Kane Womack is going to probably have a spy on him, and I pray that's not Deontay Lawson or Justin Jefferson, but I digress. I think in order to win this game, we have to either take Diego Pavia away and make everybody else on that team beat us, because I don't think they have the ability to beat us without him. So if we can limit what he does on the outside, I think Alabama can contain Vanderbilt's run game, because they're highly effective in what they do and their game plan around him. Now, I would say if we could, get a couple good hits on him, that might do some things to deter what he does. But being as if we haven't done a good job of getting good hits on the quarterback, or when we do have chances to get him in space, we haven't been able to get a quarterback down, and he's actually a good runner in space. Not to mention, they like to do those little, basically little shovel passes to the tight end that went for gashes for 45 yards last year that went right across our Mike linebacker's face, which in lies the problem. We could say everything we want about the defensive line, but to our linebackers want to come up and hit somebody in the mouth, then no, Alabama's never going to be able to stop the run. We're just going to have to do what we can to contain it and basically put a Band-Aid over use a Band-Aid as a tourniquet, because we don't have the ability, because our linebackers are too soft to make a damn play.
I knew the man would not be short of words. And since my New York Yankees can't hit a fastball, I've changed it to an Alabama shirt with the winners. I'm going to throw you boys a curveball. Damn, bases loaded with 1 out. Y'all suck, and it was Chapman. God bless. I hate the Red Sox. All right, I'm throwing a curveball. Not can Bama stop the run, Dan James. Will Bama stop the run Saturday night? Yes or no?
Oh, man.
Oh, I'm putting you on it, man. Spot, buddy.
Oh, yeah. We haven't yet, so like Lou said, can we contain it good enough in Bryant Denny? So we haven't. Let's be honest, we haven't. So the question I think needs to be answered: can we contain it well enough, to get off the field So that remains to be seen. We're gonna have to bring our guys up in run support, but they also got to be honest. Don't get beat deep. You know, the tight end Eli Stowers. You know, he you know we got to watch. We got to watch him. You know, he was a problem for us. You know, last year. So it's. I mean, Vanderbilt. You know, albeit not getting top tier competition, but they've been able to do what they want offensively.
Score 50, 60, 70 points a game. That's not Vanderbilt numbers in any year.
Yeah,
it's odd.
Yeah, so can we contain it enough? We definitely it starts with winning first down. We definitely got to win first down. You know, get them behind the chain. Cause last year we were destroyed on first down. You know, we let them get 6-7 yards a chunk. You know, and that really put us in a bad spot. So, you know, we need to be able to definitely win first down. Then things will get easier. You know, so if we take away the run early in the game, it's going to be bad for Vanderbilt. But there's no reason for me to believe that we will right now. You know, so we shall see.
Well, Dan, I'm sorry to put you on the spot. I know you haven't been put on the spot like that since Edna had you in the nursing home twerking on the dinner room table. So, Van, I'm going to let you and Lou, I've been working on that your whole speech. I'm going to let you and Lou tackle this one from Dirt Road Bigfoot. Which is going to be more important, containing the QB or stopping the run, the traditional run, which, they do a lot of traps, a lot of misdirections? I think you kind of touched on that, Lou, that you felt like Kane was going to force Diego, force the other side of it, right? I'll let you tackle this.
This is, I didn't mean to show this one, but it's
kind of pertinent to the time, so let's tackle it.
You solve both with doing one. You contain Pavier, they're not going to be able to run the ball. Yep. So we contain Pavier, that their running game is going to be neutralized, which means they won't be able to pass the ball because their pass basically comes off getting everybody off balance with their crazy ass run setups, their little I don't even know what you want to call their little stupid little troubadour offense. But if we contain him, their offense is going to break because they don't have the type of supporting cast that other teams in the SEC do that could come out and beat you without their quarterback. Everybody needs their quarterback to be able to facilitate. They don't have anybody on their team that can do it themselves. They need the quarterback. So if we neutralize their quarterback, I think we're going to be in a great position. And I think Kane Womack is giving that message to the players.
Good stuff, Lou. Dan, I'm going to pop it right back to you, though, and put you on the spot like I did Dan. Will Bama stop the run Saturday night?
I think they'll slow it down.
He's running for politician like Feinbaum and AJ.
I'm concerned, man. I mean, you heard my first, spiel there. I don't believe in them. They gotta prove it to me. They gotta make me out to be a liar. They gotta stand up and be pissed off, knock the shit out of people. I need gap integrity. I've been yelling that since game one. Everybody's over pursuing the ball. You can't do that, especially against this offense. You're going to have to stay disciplined to your assignment, maintain your proper positioning. We need to execute the run fits. I'm looking at you, safeties and linebackers. Be where you need to be. Make the tackle the first time. Don't wrap up. Stop arm tackling, Jefferson. I've got issues with how things are done. Damani Jackson, Saturday night, was getting eat up at the edge. Could not help set the edge over on his side, man. You've got to be able to control your blocker and try to funnel that play back to the inside. He can get tore up. He's taking bad angles. Hubbard takes some bad angles sometimes, but he makes up for it with physicality. That's the difference. So can we? I'm sure we can. We know they're good players, but will we? Make me believe, because right now, no.
Good stuff, guys. Man, I think we killed it. We have absolutely tackled the elephant in the room. The question is, will Bama tackle the elephant in the room? And that's that Vanderbilt running game that is going to be invading Bryant-Denny Saturday. But before we do that, let's step back a little bit. Let's talk Hallmark cards. Does Kirby go and buy in bulk? does he go just on Father's Day? Like, how does that work when they have to get their Father's Day card for the University of Alabama from Georgia? Because that's what happened Saturday night. So let's recap it. Look, we broke down. There were some issues Saturday night, but I think the biggest thing was we all questioned how Alabama would answer getting punched in the mouth. They actually threw the damn punch. It was Georgia having to respond. Guys, let's give one last recap to the huge victory in Athens, because let's be real. Even though it's Alabama doing what Bama does and beating Georgia, those bastards ain't lost up there since pre-COVID. That's a big-ass win, going on the road in Athens and winning, even though that's just what we do. So we're going to recap it. We're going to reflect it a little bit. And like my man Van said, we're going to put it in the rear view and talk about this Vanderbilt Commodore game coming up. But guess what, guys? We don't play the damn game, so we can do what we want to do and talk some football. I'm gonna start in reverse order. I'm gonna let Lou start this up, man, because Lou was hitting up that chat. I'm quiet during games, during text chats. I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm in public apology because
Me too.
So much going on, I can't keep up with it, and I'm a little slow. But Lou, you were dialed in again. I've said it once. You made the comment about the linebackers, but let's not talk about the linebackers. Let's recap the rest of it. Let's recap the leadership of Ty. Let's recap those receivers that keep stepping up. Let's let you just take the floor and tell me what your final thoughts, reflections, recap was from that night in Athens, brother.
All right. I'll be brief. First of all, I want to give one of the game balls has to go to Ty Simpson. 24 of 38, 276 yards, 2 touchdowns, 12 on the ground, and he had a rushing touchdown. 90 QBR rating. The most impressive thing he did Saturday night, if not fire his teammates up, was go 13 of 19 on third down against the greatest defensive coach in the land in his house. I don't think people understand how hard it is to be that effective on third down on the road, especially coming off that absolute dumpster fire that we had down in Tallahassee, Florida. Going on, Isaiah Horton, were the receiver of the game. 5 catches, 65 yards, averaged 13 per catch, and he had a touchdown. Bama had 117 yards on the ground. I would have liked to see him, maybe pound it a little bit more. The penalties were under control. On the defensive side, Bray Hubbard played amazing. 9 tackles, forced fumble, and a tackle for loss, and a pass deflection. I felt like Edric Hill, after James Smith got that targeting call, came in and played a very, very solid game. He had a half a sack and 1.5 tackles for loss. I think him getting those reps, especially against Georgia, is going to be key, especially for his confidence moving on down the season. Now, the defense did an amazing job through the air. We only let 130 yards up passing, but as we said in the running, they absolutely gashed us for 227, 6.9 yards per carry, and they got us for 2 touchdowns. One of the things I thought we did good on defense, we kept them 2 of 8 on third down, which is something that they need to build on going forward, is getting off the field on third down. That was one thing that we all said coming from last year to this year that they need to get better on, is getting off the field, because teams were allowed to just stay on the field ended up hurting us because we didn't have the depth. Either it was a penalty or just lacking sense of what was going on. But getting off the field is going to be a catalyst for success going forward. And honestly, I felt that the energy was not, as they've said in the past, they didn't play with anxiety. There wasn't a monkey on any of their shoulders, and they were having fun the entire time. From the second they entered that stadium and got booed, this team had a level of confidence, and they were very focused on what they needed to do. So keep it short and brief. They did their damn job in Athens.
Absolutely. They did. I couldn't agree more, Lou. And, man, the point that I think you need to put the highlighter circle around is those third down conversions. That's right. That's the outside of defense, offensive line. That's one of the most key stats to football. Getting off the field defensively on third down and converting the other side. And Bama did that in a key way. Van, I know you enjoyed the win, but you watched it through a very critical lens. But what was your final kind of takeaway thoughts from this one, man?
before I jump into it, I'm gonna do this a little different, man. I want to mention a couple of streaks that were broken, not just a 33 home game winning streak. We snapped a streak of Georgia having a lead at least once in every game that they've played in for the last 72 games.
Ooh.
But the most impressive stat to me was the fact that Alabama's 13 third down conversions were the most allowed by Georgia in any game in the last 30 years.
Wow.
In Athens, right? I think that's in Athens.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
So that was impressive. So what I'm going to give y'all, just so y'all know where my mind's at during the football game, I kind of make notes during the game just to kind of brush up on for Tuesday night. So here's the things I had wrote down. Third down conversions, they were mentioned before, were they broke Georgia's back. Couldn't get us off the field when it mattered. Converting 11 of the first 12 blew my mind. So, I mean, that was great. Ryan Grubb was in his bag calling plays. It was some of the best play calling I've seen from Bama since Sark was there. The Bernard flip to Horton, the Caden Proctor play, those are the kind of things we were all hoping for when Ryan Grubb came to Alabama. And those type of plays will keep a defense guessing, and they make us dangerous, you know. Ty Simpson, he grew up in this game. He didn't try to play hero ball. He made good decisions. His ball placement was on point 90-something% of the time. This offense is going to go as far as Simpson will lead them. I got a lot of confidence in him right now. I know we didn't run the ball as well as most of the fans would have liked, but we did it well enough to keep Georgia's defense honest. It was good enough to allow screens and play action passes to be effective. So I can live with that. Jam Miller's presence was felt early on. The run game's one thing, but his pass protection, like we've mentioned several shows, is top tier.
Yeah. That was very, very, very big Saturday night.
Big time. Jeremy Bernard is our Percy Harvin, is something I wrote down.
Yeah.
I said catching, running, blocking, hell, even trying to pass. He can do anything. He's the heart of this team. You cannot question this man's effort. I'm not sure you ever will. He's phenomenal. This is something I don't normally do. If any of y'all personally know me, you know I'm not a big special teams guy. Shout out to the punter, Blake Dowd. I think he had his best game in an Alabama uniform Saturday night. He flipped field position for us late in a critical time, pinned them inside their 20 twice. So shout out to him. The offensive line, man, the pass protection was probably the best I've seen from Bama in some years. Formby had his best game. He graded out as the highest graded offensive lineman in college football this week, as a matter of fact. And that's a guy we've been highly critical of, myself included. So it was good to see him step up and play well. Proctor was right behind him as far as grading. He always has good games against Georgia. And then, you know, that little combination of William Sanders at left guard, Formby at right guard, Michael Carroll at right tackle was nasty work. I want to see more of that combo. Edric Hill, which Lou had mentioned earlier, I seen some things when he had to come in over that bogus-ass targeting call. I seen some things about him that I like. LT Overton made the play of the game on the fourth down tackle for loss. He showed effort and heart, and that's what we want to see. The last thing I'm going to say, I got wrote down here, we could not stop a tea party if you dressed it up in shoulder pads and called it a running back. As stated in the last segment, we are struggling to stop the run. It's as bad as I've seen an Alabama team struggle to stop the run. It's kind of a boom or bust thing right now for us. We'll get a negative play, then they'll gash us for 8 yards or more. And so, you know, we got to fix this. And I'm not going to keep eating up time because we've already talked about it. But that's just some things I wrote down. I figured I'd share where my mind's at during the game.
No, that's good stuff, man. Like, seriously, what you and Lou just brought, grade A, and I know this next man's going to do it as well. And I'm going to preface this, though, and unless you live in different states or if you've never been outside of Alabama, I know Lou does, most of us do, you don't really understand this. But winning and losing, you know, different emotions can be completely different from where you live. Because losing at home, it still sucks, but you go home with all your Bama buddies, right? You lose in Georgia, and you got to deal with a bunch of barking assholes. So nobody enjoys a victory more than when you live in enemy territory and you get to go and work on Monday morning with double number ones ablazing. And I know he probably didn't do it because he runs the show and he can't do that, and he's a good guy. But Dan, was it sweeter for any Bama fan on this planet than you walking around that Georgia Bulldog country with that crimson on this Monday?
Listen, man, let me tell you, what's funny, what seems to amaze me, they do a lot of barking before the game, but they are the most humble people after a loss. They are the most humble people, man. And let me tell you, well, with me, they'll go on the message boards and complain about the officiating and how much better team they were and the play calls and everything. But man, let me tell you. And another thing is a lot of bandwagon guys. Everybody roll tide now, roll tide. Yeah, Bama. It's a few dog haters. So it's funny. It's different in Georgia. But let me say about as far as the game, man, I said going into the game that two things definitely need to happen. One was we had to win on third down, which we did. We were 13 of 19, which is awesome. Like you said, against the best, defensive coach in the country at home, at his home. And while holding Georgia to 2 of 8. 2 was to win the turnover battle. We won that 1-0. So, that recipe is going to win you 90% of your games. You win the turnover battle, you win third down, you have a great chance of winning the game. And those things happen. And man, like, Ty Simpson, wow. I think he put his name at the front, of the Heisman race. Great game, great mocks. That's what we needed on the road. Leadership from our quarterback position. Very smart decisions with the ball. He made a few plays with his legs, and that's what we're gonna have going forward. We got our leader now. We got our unquestioned leader on offense. Caden Proctor, man.
Who knew he was the 4th best receiver?
But I said this, going into it, this is the type of game that he's built for. You
did.
We went and recruited Caden Proctor for the Georgias.
Yes.
That's what we did. Nick Saban went and got Caden Proctor for the Georgias. So and it showed. That's his thing. And him losing weight that helped out. A lot. He was moving well. He was getting into his set quicker. So we just need to continue to improve on it. DeMonte Jackson, he's been outstanding for us. I'm not gonna lie about it. We'll chalk it up to a bad game, man. A lot of times he was just taking bad angles, terrible angles. And he didn't keep his shoulders level to the line of scrimmage, and that that was terrible with I don't care how fast y'all with a running back coming at you. Getting out of position like that and having to change direction at the wrong angle, So, I look for us to clean up that, and he's a smart guy, smart player, and I think he'll get better from that. We're hoping, but we're going to need him going forward. William Sanders, man, he's continuing to make his way into the rotation on the offensive line. Athletic guy. One of the best blockers on the team, period, regardless of position. And man, LT Overton, I thought he played a great game. Edric Hill, like we said, played a great game. Just our linebackers were invisible at times.
Thank goodness for the defensive line and their push. They kind of made up for it in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So if we contained the edge in this game, man, it would have been a blowout. So. It's a lot of good you can take away, but it's also a lot of coaching opportunities that you definitely, can address this week, So, like you said, the 24-hour rule, it's time to focus on Vanderbilt. Remember, don't waste a loss, like Nick Saban used to say. Never waste a loss. We got to remember what happened last year.
Yeah.
we got to be able to contain the quarterback, and so we shall see this week. There's a lot of stuff we got to clean up because we got a very, very good team. Probably the best offensive team we've seen so far this year.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be, and they have a lot of 5th and 6th year guys. If no one noticed, they're a very experienced team. So it's gonna be a formidable opponent. So we have to be ready. Buckle our chin straps, and we're gonna have to get a little physical. So I think we will be up to the challenge. Though.
Well said, Dan. Well said. Look, man, you're absolutely right. And I can't say it any better as far as breaking down the inside of it than you guys did. So I'm not even going to try. There's no need to add. Y'all pretty much nailed every side of it, from tie to the defense to every little bit of it. So I'm going to step back and wax poetic a little bit here because, guys, y'all gave the Alabama X and O breakdown of it. I'm going to give you the double agent breakdown. This is why, be honest, this is why I think I'm a part of these shows at Alabama when I am we make the double agent jokes, an Ole Miss Bama guy, right? I do think that gives me a unique perspective, and I do think that's why I've landed where I've landed, to be honest. I don't do this much on the show, but this is when I like to do it. Last year when Bama lost to Vanderbilt, it was this weird thing, right? Where like, oh, we lost to Vanderbilt, but okay, you laugh it off. It was a one-time thing. But it kind of puts that little thing in the back of your mind. Is the magic gone? Like, is this different? Are we in the new age? And then you start off the season, people are starting to believe, you're starting to hear external folks say, this Alabama team can win a title. And then Florida State happens, and that really puts a shock. It was shock. It's something Bama fans haven't experienced seriously in 16 years. It's a real, when you're starting to question, can our team man up against other people? So here's where I talk about waxing poetic as a kid growing up in Mississippi as an Ole Miss fan who had a glass ceiling of Liberty Bowls and stuff. Alabama was just different. They were different because of moments like the 92 national champion. They were chips. They were different from moments like even the Outback Bowl when Jay Barker off his back foot hit Sherman Williams in the last 20 seconds and he goes down and scores, or Dennis Riddle goes down to win the Iron Bowl. Just moment after moment, or Roman Harper knocks the ball away. And that's what I was wanting to see. And I know we joked about it, the Daniel Moore print, right? Well, I want to see a Daniel Moore moment out of this Alabama team. We haven't seen it in a couple of years. And as great as Ty had played leading into this game, this is where you say as an Alabama fan, well, that's great and all, but Bama players, great Bama players, do it in the biggest moments there are. And doing it again with all the haven't lost there in whatever years, blah, blah, blah. And let's give some credit. Kirby Smart is the best coach in the country at halftime adjustments. And Alabama was able to hold it off. And we say everybody gets on Bama not scoring in the second half. Georgia only scored 7. Bama scored enough in the first. And they did enough in final drives to extend the game and extend the clock. Mm-hmm. It's what winning programs do. So when I say I'm waxing poetic, what I saw Saturday night was Alabama football. And Alabama football is a program that shakes the ground of every program they face. And that was starting to kind of go away a little bit after last year, after Florida State. People started getting that blood like in the water. We can go get Bama. And then you watch Bama beat Georgia in Athens, and it's like, holy shit, maybe not. So, again, you guys broke it down beautifully, but I'm going to take away. I saw a leader in Ty Simpson that's a soldier that put a team on his back Saturday night. This is a special club, guys. This is, there's holes, there's warts. Go watch every football game out there. Every team has warts, but it's how you mask those. And I think there's great coaching on that sideline. I'm starting to, hang in, guys, man. That was a special night in Athens. But yeah, it's time to turn the page. Let's talk about Vanderbilt Commodores. But man, I'm pretty excited about what I saw at Alabama Crimson Tide, and I'm really ready to head to Tuscaloosa and see if we can get revenge. Revenge? Are we talking revenge on the Vanderbilt Commodores? Let's talk them, guys. Let's do a scouting report. Vandy. Man, let's talk. I mean, we've talked Flexbone. We've talked Diego. What else do we got to worry about outside of that? You got your hand up, Lou. I'm going to let you go, buddy.
I just wanted to throw a little comment. I don't have to go first on this. But we're not after revenge. In the words of Wyatt Earp, it's the reckoning.
Love it.
It's the reckoning. It's not about revenge. This game is about correcting something that we did wrong.
Best,
The
yes.
reckoning.
Much better vernacular. I love this.
Is what we're after. And to answer some people in the chat, I'll go ahead and do that. You want to hear about Vandy's defense? Let's hear about Vandy's defense. Vandy's defense comes in with 14 sacks this season, 2.8 a game, 43 tackles for a loss. That's what you need to know about Vanderbilt's defense. These guys are going to come after the quarterback. They are going to try to make as many negative plays as possible because they do not have the back end that half the SEC does. They got some decently talented guys over top, but they do not have the talent. They do not have the speed to stand up with most high-powered offenses in the SEC. Now, they got a lot of good guys up front. Miles Capers, defensive end, he's got 15 tackles, 8 tackles for a loss, 3.5 sacks, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. They got a couple D linemen. Linus Zunk, interesting name. Also, what's his name? Nick Rinaldi and Kadore Sindor. All these guys are upperclassmen, if not seniors, if not graduated. They all have an effect on a way to affect the passer, and they're all trying to get tackles for loss. And those guys are pretty much the ones that run their defense as far as the front seven. The guy that you need to look for in the defensive backfield, C.J. Hurd. He leads their team in tackles. He's everywhere on the field. He's also got an interception, a pass deflection. This guy's going to be everywhere on the field trying to make plays. Now, like I said, if they don't get to the quarterback, they're very, very susceptible to being carved up because they don't have the DBs that can stay with the wide receiver, especially with the likes of ours. So that is some place that we can definitely affect them if we can hold up against their pass rush. I fully think we will, but they're also not a very good as far as they're not overly disciplined. They can be caught out of place in a lot of situations, but they do have a way to force the football. They are always trying to force turnovers. They've forced 7 fumbles and recovered 6. So they're going to be trying to racket that football, which is something that the Alabama offensively needs to be aware of. But as a whole, they're giving up 278 yards per game in offense, 4.6 per play. Their passing defense, like I said, they're giving up 200 yards. Their run defense, they have one of the best rushing defenses in the country. They're only surrendering about 80 yards per game, which is right on par with Georgia. So if we can get the run started and occupy some of those inside guys and be able to utilize Ty Simpson and give him time to cook, I think we'll be just fine as far as going against their defense.
Love it. Van, you had a chance to check out this Vandy team much?
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, this ain't your mama's Commodores.
I'm glad you said that because, again, if you haven't watched them, I am going to about face when it's my turn because I'm going to go to gambling side. But I'm so glad you said this is not your mama, your daddy's Commodore team.
No. I mean, everyone used to look at Vandy as a guaranteed win on the schedule. I'm guilty of it. At home or away, you expected your team to win by double digits, gain experience from your backups, and cruise into the next game. That's not anymore, man. Clark Lee has done as good a job coaching this team and changing their attitude and culture as anyone in the country. The team's got swagger and attitude, and they've earned it the last 2 years by going up against bigger schools and pushing them around. When Diego Pavia arrived from New Mexico State, he already had a name about him from upsetting Auburn and some other schools. Then he marched in against us last year and made us like it. 6 straight scoring drives at one point. So, I mean, the dude's got swagger. He talks a lot of shit, and he backs that shit up. So, you know, it's something to look for. I know everybody's saying, but against who? You could have said the same thing last year, and then we went out and lost to them. All right, you can only play who's in front of you. but they're taking care of who's in front of them. They're putting up points, y'all. And, they do enough in their passing game. Everybody knows what they do running the ball, but they do enough in the passing game that you also have to respect it. Pavia's been pretty damn efficient. He's completing around 74% of his passes. And then, we all know what he can do with his feet, but then you got Cedric Alexander. He's been the workhorse back this whole season. He's got a little over 200 yards, 4 touchdowns. And then you got this McKylan Young, and he's kind of a change of pace back. He's averaging like 11 yards a carry, and he's got 4 touchdowns. 11 yards a carry is ridiculous. So you look at their wide receiving group, and, not as deep and as talented as Alabama's. Junior Sherrill and Trey Richardson kind of jump off the page at you. And then Dan had mentioned Eli Stowers before, the tight end. He's Pavia's safety blanket. He's got the most receptions, the most yards. He's got 2 touchdowns. He's averaging almost 14 yards per catch. So he's a problem. Lionel Richie ain't on these Commodores, but they damn sure got a brick house when it comes to their offensive line. They run block as well as anybody in the country as a collective unit. And they give Pavia plenty of time to throw the ball when it's needed. So you're looking at an offense that's averaging 7.6 yards per play. They're one of the best teams in points per game. They're converting third downs at nearly 60%, fourth downs at the same rate. So, yeah, those numbers look amazing, and, yeah, that level of competition ain't necessarily the best, but they're a damn good football team. Where we take advantage of them, number one, Lou had mentioned it, they're undisciplined. They're undisciplined on both sides of the ball. They've got a lot of penalties against them. They've had 2 games of 10 or more penalties. Alabama's been getting a little bit better, playing more discipline. If we can slow down the run and keep Ty upright, I think we'll carve them up. But, we got to go out and do it, man. We were 2 turnovers away last year. If we'd have played a little bit better, we'd have beat them last year. But a fumble here, pick 6 there, and then we're playing catch up all night because we could not slow them down. So I think we can, man, I'm sitting here debating it in my mind. I think we can slow them down enough, but I think our offense is going to have to be our defense and keep Vandy off the field like we did against Georgia.
Absolutely. Look, Van, say you. Lou, say me. Dan, say it for always. What's your final take on the scouting report?
Yeah,
Other than after what Van finished that, if this, if that, if my aunt had nuts, she'd be my uncle. I know that's a famous Van line. But other than that, what's your final take on this Vandy scouting report?
Yes, get off the field on third down. We need 3 and outs. Like you say, ball control. Don't gamble. Don't fall for the eye candy. Y'all gave the numbers side of it, but we have to play. Don't trust your eyes. Film study film. We stopped the run, but that starts with Pavia. He's the lead rusher on the team, so contain him, and we should have plenty of success. But contain him. We got to watch Stowers. That's my concern. Pavia is he's not only elusive, but he's smart and savvy, and he doesn't respect us. He doesn't respect us, which is scary for us. What I'm saying? He doesn't fear us. He doesn't have a reason to. He's confident. But so we got to be loud. Fans in the stadium. We got to bring the atmosphere, the environment, and we definitely have to get better on the edge. We got to funnel everything to our guys. Our guys inside. Our linebackers got to play better. No question about that. It's time to start getting younger guys, because next year, we're gonna have young guys that no experience. So we're playing upper class linebackers, and we're not getting the results that we need to see from when you got 3 upper class linebackers, and we got talented young guys. It's time to, let them get into the rotation, get some game time experience, but I don't know if this is a game for it, but we definitely got to get better play out of our linebackers because they're going to be pivotal in this game.
Absolutely. Be jamming, strike fast, strike hard, no mercy, sir. I am going to give before I give my final thoughts, which, guys, y'all's breakdowns are so good. I'm not going to just add. Yeah, y'all nailed it. I'm going to go my different spin again, and I'm not going to wax poetic. I'm going to go down gambling on y'all. But before I do that, I want to give a special shout out to a person in that's been lighting up the chat, Alicia Halsey. Thank you so much for the outstanding podcast from the 662 Clarksdale, Mississippi. Apparently, her nephew plays for LSU. Hey, I'm sorry, my dual agent Rebels got them this weekend, but good luck to your nephew. But I want to give a shout out. If you don't know about Clarksdale, Mississippi, that is ground zero for the Blues. Not St. Louis, not wherever people want to claim it. That is where the devil met the man at the crossroads. And it's also the home of the voice of all of TV, one Morgan Freeman. So shout out to Alicia and shout out to Clarksdale, Mississippi, home of the Blues.
It ain't just the man; it's Robert Johnson, the man.
I didn't say Robert. I just said I did the crossroads, the devil, and I didn't even say.
Yeah, got to put respect on Robert Johnson now.
Robert Johnson, the godfather of the Blues, from Clarksdale, Mississippi, the northern part of the Delta. God bless. Don't start going south on that road because it's a long way of nothing.
You can't beat the Mississippi Delta Blues, man. Some of the greatest music ever made.
Yes, where Ribs and the Mississippi Delta Blues, man, changed the soul of this country a little bit. All right, sorry, didn't want to veer off, but I saw your post, Alicia, and I wanted to give a shout out to a really cool fan that has popped in here. Thank you for being a part, and roll tide to you. Let's go get that victory. I'm going to look, I can't break it down anymore on the scouting report part, but I'm going to go from the gambling side. Look, okay, dual agent. You remember 2 years ago when game day, y'all maybe not, Ole Miss was playing Georgia. Game day was in Athens, a lot of hobbob, and Georgia beat that ass 52-10 because Ole Miss wasn't ready. But for this big spotlight, I kind of see that here, man. Vandy's a cute story. They beat some semi-good teams, putting up a lot of points. They're about to run into a buzzsaw that caught fire in Athens the other night. The reason that line is 10.5 is because Vandy's defense isn't going to stop this offense, and Bama's defense is going to get enough stops. I do see this as, you know what Vandy's not used to? They're used to the JP game when you're half-ass awake and you're having to get dressed, and Marvin, 26 years later, still bitching about their pink locker room that's the size of a JV. Well, that's why they would win, take you 9-6, yada, yada. They're not used to walking in on game day, and look, I agree with Lou, this is retribution, but they got a target on their back. Bama ain't overlooking that ass. They're ready to pop that ass. Hey, guys, just saying, I'm on Bama minus 10.5. That's my Vandy Scout report. I think Vegas has got it. Pause. Yes, much love from Clarksdale, Alicia. All right. Anything else on this Vandy Scout report, guys, that needs to be addressed going into Saturday night? All right, let's talk about it.
Run.
The run. And look, it's stopping the run, right? And last year, it was the linebackers. Eyes weren't in the right place. It looked like they were on damn roller skates. But what can help that and assist that is a strong secondary, right? We've talked about it. This is going to be a huge game for Bray Hubbard. It's going to be a huge game for Keon Sabb because if you can't play that zero man, get your back turned and let Diego Pavia run all over the damn field, you're going to have your eyes forward. So this is a game where the secondary, and y'all mentioned it throughout the night. Y'all mentioned Damani and these guys having to set the edge. So let's go there. We've talked about what has to be done. Let's talk about what would be the most productive secondary to get that done. I'm going to get weird. I haven't started with Van. I'm going to go diagonal, circle, X, circle gets a square, and let Van start off this segment. Van, what do you think? I love your scouting and how critical your eye is. So if Womack gets the flu, and they're like, shit, we need a defensive coordinator for the night, they call Van in. What's your starting secondary Saturday night against the Commodores?
Well, first of all, I'm starting 2 different inside backers, but that's a different discussion anyways.
That's not the question, defensive coordinator, Van. That's for my linebacker coach, Lou.
That's why you can't give me full control.
That's why I got Dan running the D line and Lou running the linebackers. But we'll get to the position coaches after you take over the second.
If I was running the linebackers, we would
boy.
not have any of these conversations.
Pandora's box just ripped open. My bad, football gods. I did it. I'm the one that brought this on us. Van, back to your defensive coordinator.
Coach that position and see what happens.
I agree.
Van, who you starting?
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet, man, because I'm kind of curious to see what everybody else has got to say here. My lineup may not be the greatest configuration against track speed receivers, but I'm bringing the wood. All right, I want guys that can go against the run heavy. I need guys that can take on blocks, fill gaps. No Diddy, all Diddy. I don't care. Bring the wood. All right. Dijon Lee's taking over for Damani Jackson right off the bat. He's bigger. He's more physical. He can help seal off the edge against the run, funnel that play back inside. He's gotten better.
I'm guessing.
He's gotten a little better in limited time every week since week 1. So I think he's maturing. He's getting used to the speed of college ball. All right, so Cam Calhoun's taking cornerback 2 spot. Again, I like his physicality. He's got good recovery speed. He's a former track guy. I trust him. All right, so I like Keon Sabb. Him and Reb Morgan's about to rotate at the Rover. All right. Something where you're seeing more typical run situations. I want Reb Morgan. I think he'll bring more pop. He likes to hit people. He's going to fly around. He'll fly up to the line of scrimmage and maybe try to hit a hole that the linebackers are too scared to do. I'm leaving Bray right where he's at because he's playing well. Although I considered him for Husky, I want a little more speed over there. I'm leaving Bray alone. So at Husky, I'm rotating again. I'm getting Dre Kirkpatrick Jr. and Ivan Taylor in the mix. I know that's a hybrid linebacker safety spot, but I think these guys bring enough thump and they bring enough spark when they do get to play. They're going to light somebody up. They're going to cause some turnovers. They're going to catch somebody sleeping come around the corner. So that there again, short, sweet to the point, but that's my lineup. I'm looking to look like the Ravens back in the day when we had Ed Reed and Chris McAllister and all that. I want everybody in my 11 to go out and hit somebody, not just the linemen, not just the linebackers, not just the safeties over the top. I expect my corners to get dirty too. So that's what I want from my lineup.
Look, and I love it. And there's one name I was kind of waiting on, obviously. In a land of softness and men being brought up in football, not the way football men should be brought up, there's one man on that secondary that's DNA has shown this year to me, and I want to see more of it. And Dre Jr., look, man, that kid comes out to hit like an Alabama football player. I love it. Love it, Dan. I mean, Van is, boy, Mississippi brain, that's too much.
That's why we're twins.
Going to Dan, so it was the conversion. I just did it wrong. Dan, how would you shake the secondary out?
Wow. All right, at the corners, like you said, I'm going with Van. You know, I like this type of game. You know, I'm gonna start out with Dijon Lee, Cam Calhoun on the outside. This is where it gets a little tricky. You know, so Husky, I'm gonna go with Day Jones. Keep Bray Hubbard in, but definitely, you know, Sab has been fine at safety, you know, but this game, I want to see Drake Kirkpatrick Jr. You know, I want to see a little bit more of him. So, you know, those are my guys, you know, but another thing is, man, I want to really, you know, I want to see another defensive lineman in the game. This is the type of game for it. You know, let's go big. You know, I saw, you know, we started out the game. I noticed we had Yanze Pierre and Quay Roussar on the field at the same time. You know, I thought that was interesting. So I don't know if we're deep enough at the Wolf now to do that, but you know, definitely I think we could get another D lineman in there some type of way. So we shall see, but we got to force them to become a little more one-dimensional.
Dear Marvin Constant, I made fun of you last episode for saying run a 5-2 with an extra defensive lineman. I thought you were an idiot and made you call Barry Switzer from 1985. Now that Dan James has said it, who I think is brilliant, maybe you were right and I was wrong. I'm sorry. Love, Petty. Oh, sorry. I was writing a apology note because Dan James just, all right, man, bring an extra. Lou, now that I'm done being a jackass, you see this any different than the two gentlemen that just spoke? I think they broke it down really well. I think we all would like to see a little more Drake or Patrick Jr., but is there any other spin you see on it that they may have missed or see it a different way?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm
Hell yeah. Yeah, I got two different scenarios. Number one, Damani Jackson staying on the damn field because he is the alpha in our cornerback room. If you take the alpha out of our cornerback room, the corners are not going to be the same. He has to be out there because he is also a staple of our defense. He also owes Diego Pavier more than anybody on our defense because he got ran away from a lot in last year's game. And I do agree, however, with Cam Calhoun. I do think he needs to be on the field. And it's more of his attitude. This is the game where you're going to need a killer. This is a game where you're going to need somebody that has a little bit more attitude than the soft-ass dudes we get from California. At Husky, give me Deshaun Jones, and I'm going to tell you why. You're going to need somebody that is a bigger body to knock around that tight end when they're going to be throwing him in different positions. Last year, I don't know if anybody remembers this, we did have Red Morgan in at the time, and he got his ass straight beat. So Red Morgan for me is not ever going to be in one of my lineups because he can't do anything laterally, and he too light in the loafers to make a hit on anybody in the SEC. That's how I feel about it. The rover position, Keon Sabb can get the hell off my damn field. Disrespectfully, of course. Because I watch film, okay? And in that film, nowhere has he corrected anything that he's done in the first couple games. I was very critical of him and Bray Hubbard. Bray Hubbard turned his shit around. Bray Hubbard's going around thumping people. Bray Hubbard's going around making plays. Keon Sabb ain't doing shit. He is not making his presence felt once this season. Drake Kirkpatrick, on the other hand.
Hold on, Lou. Before I want to interject because then I want you to keep going, but I want to add this is for you, but I don't because I know you're going to keep going. But before you, would the elephant in the room if Bama wasn't playing Vanderbilt with the defensive line been if the kid for Georgia makes that catch and scores that touchdown, we have a different outcome? How much are we talking about the safety position right now? Would that be the elephant in the room? Because man, that's
no.
Was that on? So was the one that the Georgia kid dropped wide open? Was that over Sabb?
It was over Sabb, but it still wouldn't be the elephant in the room because we still got gashed for 227 on the ground.
Well, I know, but it's one that we haven't talked about much. Sabb's been a liability and kind of gotten lucky, right? Because that was like, and look, I know what people are going to say. Well, we drop one early. Okay, great. But still, at that point in the game, that kid catches that. This is a whole damn different conversation right now. And then you again, nobody, it almost masked that it didn't. I mean, we catch it. You're calling it right now, but Sabb's not getting hammered for that.
On the other hand, we have other guys in our secondary that I'm not worried. Whereas our linebackers and stopping the end runs, we haven't solved that. We got people in the secondary that we can substitute or supplement for that. Dan, go ahead and I'm gonna finish up.
Yeah, one thing I want to, we haven't mentioned on this show, man. Georgia, rushed for over 230 yards against us. And on fourth down, that fourth down call, guys, what do y'all think about that? I mean, they could have just huddled up, lined up, and ran at the Money Jackson for 1 yard on that 4th and 1.
Let's take off. I don't know this is impossible to do. Let's take off our crimson for a second and look at it from a Georgia fan that had to deal with Mike Bobo in those few moments. holy shit, thank you for rushing and doing something completely out of your nature that gave us a chance to blow it up. Because, yes, if they go into the north, Mike Bobo, I don't know how they deal with that over there. I'm not sure I could deal with a lot of Mike Bobo.
Because in the past, they played good enough defense that it didn't matter.
Yeah,
They're not the same Georgia that they were. That's why I'm not celebrating like everybody wants to celebrate.
You can't run a
Good
1995
win.
offense anymore. It doesn't work.
It was a good win, but this ain't Georgia of old. That's why I'm not out here throwing streamers and celebrating in the streets. It's a good win, but we're moving on.
There's 2 plays, and we're having a completely different conversation right now, right?
Hey, but that shit happened. We won the damn game.
There you go.
That's what matters.
So, Lou, put a bow on it. You were absolutely right, because what did you know what matters in this game? The only thing that matters? Scoreboards in the final.
That's it.
My second, after much needed pause from these fucking idiots. Damn it. My secondary lineup: Damani Jackson, Cam Calhoun, Deshaun Jones, Drake Kirkpatrick, and obviously Bray Hubbard. My second lineup is more geared to stop the ball in space, because I've seen them run this a couple of times. Damani Jackson would be the boundary corner. Cam Calhoun would be my outside corner. Dejon Lee would be my boundary corner too. I got Drake Kirkpatrick as my Husky. I got Bray Hubbard as my free safety. And I got Xavier Mincy as my rover. That is my impact coverage package right there. Because everybody in that lineup that I just said is going to hit you. They're not going to shy away from contact. They're going to hit you, and they're going to make their presence known. I love Xavier Mincy. I know a whole lot of people haven't been able to see what he's been able to do because, for some reason we keep Sab on the field for some strange reason. But Xavier Mincy will come up and pop you. Drake Kirkpatrick will come up and pop you. I would feel way more comfortable if Kane Womack got a hair up on his ass to just play some young dudes against Vanderbilt and just watch how fast they get to the damn football just because they're young and they're hungry. I feel like a lot of times we get these older guys and these solidified in these positions and they get lazy. Last year, Keon Sabb was playing amazing. He has not even broached the level of play he had last year. And to me, we've been in 4 games. We're in SEC play now. So it's time to start figuring out we need to maybe put somebody else back there. And when we got a Drake Kirkpatrick or a Xavier Mincy that can go in, and honestly, if Day Jones, if he ain't doing his job, there's other things we can do with that too. But I definitely, one thing that that needs to be said, Xavier Brown is a liability, and teams know that. They're attacking him, especially with a bigger receiver. He's gotten bodied. He doesn't have the body. He doesn't have the top end speed to catch anybody. I know Damani Jackson showed up, but Xavier Brown has just been pushed around. I'm not saying he doesn't have ability, but when you're getting into SEC play against these bigger body guys, you need that tougher, hard-nosed, kind of a attitude-like player, or else teams are just going to bully you. And that's what they've been doing to Xavier Brown, is just pretty much bullying him. And we can't have that in a game like this where a team's confidence is based off the fact that they bullied the living shit out of us last year, and they're going to look to do that again. And if they see people on the field that have got bullied in film, they're going to just straight up attack them. Like, I already know they're going straight after our edge. They're going to run it straight at Deontay Lawson and Justin Jefferson. Why the hell wouldn't you? They ain't stopped it. They ain't hit nobody since they've been in a crimson jersey. So, and Clark Lee knows that. He's going to try to expose weak links. And I think the fact that our linebackers are trash, our inside linebackers for that matter, we're going to need to have a productive secondary, because if we don't, we're going to lose this game. If Drake Kirkpatrick, Bray Hubbard don't have amazing games, we're probably going to lose this game, because I can tell you this: Deontay Lawson and Justin Jefferson aren't going to have amazing games against this team. they're going to get exposed.
So let me ask y'all this. I mean, is it a bit of a misnomer or fool's gold, for better lack of terminology? The secondary right now is one of the, top in the country. I think we're giving up less than like 150 yards a game through 5 games so far. But is that a misnomer, or is that something like you said? Is Vanderbilt going to attack the running game and not not worry so much about the secondary because it is that good? The Vandy goes handle.
Let me piggyback this, Lou. What you just said. We talk about Alabama linebackers, right? You could talk about our linebackers, and a lot of our linebackers are known by the hits. You look at the Reggie Ragland hit on Malcolm Mitchell at Georgia. You look at the Matt Wilson hit on Speedy Noel, the Reuben Foster hit on Leonard Fournette. And name me a signature hit that you've seen from Deontay Lawson in his Alabama career.
When he got run over by Tommy C and he hit his ass, that was the signature hit for him.
Oh, you muted, Lou.
When he got ran over by a 190-pound running back. I have not seen zero. I don't think he's got a penalty in his whole entire collegiate career. He helps people up. He pats them on the back saying good play after they got a first down. Dog, you're too nice. I don't want that shit no more. Like, I'm tired of it. It's 5 years of it. Like, dude, like, go somewhere. Like, linebackers are not supposed to be pretty. They're not supposed to be nice. And I'm sick of hearing the same shit that he said all year. Oh, yeah, we're going to do our best and we're going to prepare. But one thing you're not going to do is hit somebody in the freaking mouth because you ain't done it. So the secondary, the safety, well, it's pretty much the safeties because other than some of our corners, it's got to be Bray Hubbard, it's got to be Deshaun Jones, it's got to be Drake Kirkpatrick, and it's got to be Keon Sabb. They have got to be huge. And this is a challenge to Sabb. This is a bad game right here for Sabb because he hasn't put anything on tape to be able to say that he's going to get drafted in the first couple rounds because he hasn't had a good season. This is a chance for him to make a statement game. If he plays off the charts, he could play himself into a first or second round grade. But as it stands right now, he hasn't done anything to get himself drafted anywhere, what you would say in the lottery or the second round.
Stuff. Van, you look like you were about to jump on what I asked earlier.
Yeah, we should be one of the highest rated defenses in the country against the pass because everybody runs the damn ball on us, man. I mean, honestly, we're not getting tested in the secondary because it's not needed. I mean, 2 out of the 4 games we've allowed 200 plus rushing yards, dude. I mean, and I'm afraid it's going to be 3 games if we don't man the F up and play a little bit of football here. Because, like, we're talking about Lawson again. And, I mean, really, we should be thanking for his service because, I mean, he's been a crossing guard at Alabama. He allows traffic to go this way, and he don't get in the way of none of it. You understand? Like, he don't do nothing, man. Like, I hate to be that guy. Like, I don't like being negative, but when you start getting paid, I can criticize you. So, here it is.
They're getting paid more than we are. I get criticized for screwing up in my shit.
Absolutely. And so, do your damn job, man. Like, why would you want to play that position at Alabama and not go out and just terrorize people? I mean, what's the point of even being a linebacker at Alabama? That's what we're known for.
Here's the other thing, too, about the whole secondary thing. We have one of the best secondaries, and we only have 5 freaking sacks. Now, people, understand what that means.
Oh, yeah.
If we're not getting pressure on the quarterback and they're not passing for a lot of yards, that means our rush defense is terrible, which it is, because we have 5 sacks. Vanderbilt has 14. Vanderbilt with Keon. I'm going to do some weird ass stuff to the coach's daughter coat on their team. Have 14 sacks to our 5,
dude.
Yet our secondary has been able to defend because, like we said, if you look at an Alabama team and look who we have in the secondary, okay, our quarterback, no matter how elite he's going to be, they have too many guys back there that can make plays. Where they don't have people to make plays is the linebackers, is the outside edge. So we're just going to gash them doing that. And that's what people have been able to do. That's why I said we're going to need to contain, because we ain't stopping shit in our front seven, especially a damn run play.
Dude, couldn't agree more. Could not agree more with what you just said, man. Like, 5 sacks, right? 5 damn sacks. And everybody's like, yeah, but Vandy ain't played nobody. They've got 14 sacks, but they haven't played nobody. Okay, well, 2 out of our 4 games, we didn't play nobody either, and we still weren't getting enough sacks. All right? And we're still getting run on. So end of story for that. I'm not going to sit here and downplay Vanderbilt's defense when our own damn defense has got a wide open gate. Anybody's running through it. So I'm not going to sit here and shit all over Vanderbilt's defense, because they are opportunistic. They'll bend, but they don't break. I mean, they get down the red zone, they make some things happen. They get turnovers. They're getting some sacks. Hey, I wish I could say the same.
They've had big hits from their linebackers. I don't think a single linebacker this year has hit somebody, and I was like, oh. Matter of fact, our wide receiver, Jeremy Bernard and Jam Miller, have hit people harder than all 3 of our inside linebackers. And that should be embarrassing. Our offensive players hit people harder than our inside linebackers. Kane Womack, if you are listening to this, just, you know what? Screw it. Why don't you sit I got a novel idea. Why don't you sit these soft-ass upperclassmen and let these young wolves show you why you recruited them to the University of Alabama? Why don't you give them an opportunity to go pay it forward, to give payback the reckoning that they deserve? Because realistically, what have any of our linebackers done differently from last year to this year to give you the confidence that they're going to be able to go out and execute a game plan? Because to me, they ain't done shit. If anything, they're playing way worse than they did last year, because at least we had Jahad Campbell that would just eat you. Jahad Campbell would come up and knock your dick straight in the dirt, full Diddy included. And Deontay Lawson just had a front row seat like, oh, good job, Jahad. Well, Jahad's not there now, and we are feeling it, and it hurts. And it probably hurts more than Ryan Williams dropping passes, us getting our ass kicked by Florida State. Do you know what hurts the most out of everything that's happened? Caleb Downs leaving, all that bullshit. The fact that we, as a University of Alabama, have the softest linebackers, if not in the SEC, the whole freaking country. And that is just sad. A lineage of absolute gods on the football field, on the gridiron. And we can't get just one guy on the field that wants to hit somebody. It is just sad. And it is hurtful. Downright.
Numbers are fool's gold. And I'm not to throw, gasoline on the fire, but to throw out a sobering statistic. You said Alabama's got 5 sacks on the season. That depleted Wisconsin offensive line that we were only able to muster 4 sacks against. The very next week at home against mighty Maryland gave up 6 sacks in one game. So it is still a problem. And man,
Maryland's got a pass rush though. They got dudes that can,
Maryland though. Think of what you just said. Maryland's got a pass rush though.
But they got Loxley there though.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know where Loxley came from, right?
So, guys, man, before we get to question and answer, I'm very aware. Before we get to question and answer, then, is that a concern, man? Is this game going to be – is this one that it's not Vandy just coming in, Vandy's coming in, and this could be a damn track meet? Because the way we broke this game down, if I'm listening as an outsider perspective, and this is an Alabama group breaking this down, I'm like, shit, Vanderbilt's about to be in this thing. All right, that's what
I'll say one thing right here is what the reason that's not going to happen is because we have Ryan Grubb and he understands what this term means. Time of possession. Diego I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what that douche's name is. I'm not gonna learn it. I refuse to learn it. Diego Pop Puppy Poo over there. If he's not on the field, he can't do shit against us. And the fact that we held the ball for over 35 minutes against Georgia culminated in the fact that they couldn't get their offense going. Now, apply that to this weekend. If you take away an offense's team ability to be offensive and force their defense to be on the field the most time, just apply that to what teams do to us. If our defense is on the field 80% of the game, we're not going to win the damn game. Now apply that same logic to Vanderbilt. Look, Ty Simpson is able to do what he did last week. Diego Pop Poopy Pants is not going to be able to do anything. Like, he's going to be rushing. And when he rushes, people make mistakes. And that's where I think we'll be able to take advantage of them, is if Ty Simpson and the Alabama offense keeps that slow, effective, monotonous offense going, and they need to be effective on third down. If he's effective on third down like he was against Georgia, this game is not going to be hard. They're going to score, but it's not going to be to the point to where it's going to affect us because we'll have the ball most of the game.
Stuff. Good show, fellas. Any final thoughts on that before we get to our fans' question and answer?
No, I mean, Lucian said everything that needed to be said right there, man. I mean, straight up.
He's got a way with words at times. Lou, my main man, do we have some questions from our wonderful audience? Oh, yeah, here we go. That's like magic. Joe Edwards, who needs to stand up for Bama to win? I think we've kind of danced all over it tonight, but guys, is it somebody? Let me ask it like this. Is it somebody other than the linebackers?
Yeah. Our safeties, because our linebackers are pussies.
But if they do, we win, right?
If Deontay Lawson actually plays like an Alabama linebacker, we're going to beat all holy hell out of freaking Vandy. But I have as much confidence of that as me walking out this second story window and being able to fly.
All right. Anybody else needs the Bama standard? All right, we got Justin Raleigh in the chat tonight, or either it's me, who knows. When are the Dan James bobblehead dolls being released? People are asking. They are in back production with the Denny dog. I'm waiting on the order to come through for both. When the Denny dogs come in, the Dan James bobblehead will be in the accompanying boxes.
Well,
we can't have it. We can't have it because there'd be a flood warning in the state of Alabama. All right. You know why. Ladies love Big Dan.
That's actually not correct. I just got an email earlier today. The bobbleheads are actually stuck in customs because we had to go to another country to outsource them because some of the material on the bobbleheads had to be straight from the motherland. So we're still waiting for them to clear customs. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks, we'll be able to get them out to everybody.
Oh, I thought they were said these are not anatomically correct. These are three-legged bobbleheads. All right. Indeed. Joshua Haney. Was that too much? Was that too far? Joshua Haney, what does Vandy's secondary look like? Because I don't see them being able to handle Ty and the wide receiver core, especially with Miller and Riley. I'm sorry, I'm broken.
Their secondary is not good. Their secondary is very, very susceptible, especially if you get a quarterback and wide receivers that know what they're doing. And the fact that I forget who highlighted the fact that Jam Miller being back adds another prime pass protector for Ty when Vandy likes to use stunts to get the quarterback on the ground. I don't like this secondary. If our offensive line stands tall and they keep moving people around, keeping people fresh, the Vandy secondary is about to get a reality check on what it means to be in the SEC.
Did Pavia shit himself or something? I've seen several references to Poopy Pants Pavia. Lose Poopy Pants.
Yeah,
oh, yeah. Sorry, Dirt. That's on me.
Yeah, I called him Diog. Yeah, Poopy. Yeah, I don't.
Well, I look, you got to remember Dak. I still call Dak shat his pants Prescott because he did indeed shit his pants, and so did Tyler Watson Hawaii. So Jeff Stapleton, I got a question. It looked Jam and Ridley was about to run wild on UGA. So do Grubb open up the running game in the Vandy game? Who wants to tackle that one?
I mean, honestly, we're going to do enough to kind of keep a defense honest, just like we did against Georgia. We ran the ball a lot, but you're going to see more short timing passes, getting the ball out quick. I mean, it's just as effective as a run game at times. So, it does. It keeps the defense honest. You can do tonal screens. You can do this and that. But, I mean, do I look for them to run wild? I don't know. I mean, they'll have good games, but they've got their place in this offense, and it's not necessarily to run for 200, 300 yards, just to keep the defense guessing and allow Ty to do what Ty's going to do. So,
and Van, I think you hit on a real good point there at the end. We're so wired, right? Go to the SEC championship, run the football, get the run to open up the pass. That's what did you watch last week? You didn't have to run to beat Georgia, but we kept at the run, and when the run was needed to extend, to keep the clock running, it was there. But this offense isn't predicated on having to run the football. It runs it, but it's just a different game. And if it works, again, that's that game plan just beat Georgia and Kirby Smart. So how I asked this last week, I actually believe, how necessary is it? I'm not sold. It's necessary to a point, and that point I made is extending the clock, getting a few yards on third down, whatnot. But yeah, you're going to have to do it to a degree, but I don't, like you, Van, I think you said it beautifully. I don't think it's what this offense is going to necessarily made of. It's not a 250-yard night run game.
Look, there's not many OCs that if there's a light box, they're not going to try to run the ball. You're going to take what the defense gives you. I mean, that's just football 101. If the box ain't stacked, you like your numbers. It's all a numbers game, man.
That's right.
It's a chess match. So, I mean, if they like what they see in the box, yeah, we'll probably run the ball a lot, but we're still going to use the pass game more. That's our primary focus right now, and it's working.
Latoya Billings, what's up, Latoya? Always with us. A good roll tide to you on this Tuesday evening. How do y'all feel about Kirkpatrick spying Pavia? Do you take a player out with a spy? Because I think, again, the way this is set up, you would be more like a keep in front zone, right? Or what? Lou, you're shaking your head.
You don't spy Pavia with Kirkpatrick. If you're going to spy him with somebody, it would need to be someone like Lawson or Jefferson.
Yeah, you do it.
But I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I'm not advocating that at all.
Absolutely not. No.
All right. Dirt Road Bigfoot. I'm not sure.
Well, we answered this.
Yeah, we answered that one.
We answered that.
That is a fantastic screen name that could mean so much.
He's actually got his own channel, man. It's pretty interesting stuff. Y'all need to check it out.
Is it an OnlyFans channel? I need to know before I type it in.
It is. He's built like Bigfoot. It's hairy. It's there.
William Morris, do you expect a high or low scoring game? Well, I'll say this. I expect a high, so bet the under, because anytime you expect one, the opposite always happens. It's insane. So, yeah, I do expect a high-scoring game. Anybody got anything different? No, I mean, I expect Bama to put in the 40s, 50s on this defense. And, I mean, I could see a 52-28 type game.
I don't see that at all.
I think we play keep away with the offense.
Ooh, so see, that's why I've got this mindset. Y'all are seeing a different thing.
It's going to be a carbon fiber footprint of what we did last week. Time of possession, and we're going to score, but it's not going to be. It's not going to be a track meet. This isn't the game you get that we get in a track meet because of our lack thereof on defense.
Oh, that was fabulous. I'm sorry. I'm very distracted by a South Park reference. Mitch Gilly, yo, I was wrong about Ty, and he proved me wrong. I publicly apologize, and I'm now a believer. I'm going to give you that public apology because of the nice things you said about me last show, Mitch. But yeah, man, Ty's the real damn deal. That's one. I'm gonna pat myself on the back. I don't get much right. I'm like a broken clock. Twice a day I'm right. But the other 12 or 24, it's pretty bad. 22, I can't even fucking do math. No, but I did say for the year, I expected Ty to be a top 5 quarterback when the season ended in the SEC. I was also wrong because he's probably going to be one of the top 2. So, no, Ty's, man, I don't think we've talked about a lot, and y'all did give Ty's flowers. I don't think enough can be given for what Ty Simpson has done to become the leader of this football program.
Agreed. We got I don't know if these are questions, but these last two are I agree with my buddy Mitch here.
Van, linebacker coach?
Absolutely, man.
And,
give me that job.
Blitz, Bama blitz. And Lou for DC.
They don't want this.
Big Poppy, I can't have your comments in the screen tonight. Your team took out my choking Yankees, so off with the heads.
Oh, I agree with that. There ain't no Red Sox fans in here tonight.
And no socks.
I don't mess with neither one of them.
You're brave.
Yeah, I think that Bama's gonna do what they did last weekend. They realized that they have an offense that could literally take the air out of a stadium. They took the air out of Athens, and I think that's gonna give them a lot of confidence moving forward to basically do whatever they want to do. And in this situation, we're facing a quarterback that is actually effective, unlike Garrett Nussmeier, that Aller kid from Penn State, or Cade Klubnik, or any of the other douches that they said were going to be
Arch Manning.
Arch
Manning?
Yes. I mean, I wasn't going to say it.
Here's your time.
Listen, I'm not going to say I told you so about the Arch Manning thing, but I told you so. When we're facing a quarterback that's not like any of the guys I just said.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Huh?
Meatloaf said it best. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, but when they get
He also said bad out of hell.
When they get upset by Florida this weekend, it's going to be the final nail in the Manning family, first family of football.
Well, one Manning could beat Florida, one couldn't. Which one does this fall under?
This one falls under the fact that if he doesn't win this game and loses, he ain't going to be a quarterback at the University of Texas.
Ooh, that's a lot of money for a name that didn't work.
And losing to a team that is in a dumpster fire right now.
Yeah, but at least he balled up that dude from Sam Houston, let that kid know who was boss.
Yeah, but he ain't going to do that to Florida players in the swamp.
No,
yeah, that kid at Sam Houston.
I'll be honest, Lou. You want to be real? We'll talk 1 second. That was when I realized that's the most unmanning thing I've ever freaking seen. And you doing Sam Houston? Get over yourself, kid.
The kid from Sam Houston was playing for an expired Shoney's buffet coupon and like 4 Little Debbie cakes, and he's out there flexing on that guy. Man, stop that shit.
Yeah,
that dude had 6 kids. That dude had his 6 kids watching that game, and they watched their dad get flexed on by Midget Manning. Like, it's disrespectful.
I'm with you tonight. I'm with you, brother.
Been telling y'all about Nussmeier too, but nobody wants to listen.
He's hurt.
Yeah, he must have been hurt for the last year and a half because every time I watch him in a big game, interception.
Listen, interception. I don't know who's got more excuses for their quarterbacks, Hugh Freeze or Brian Kelly.
Oh,
dude, Brian Kelly. Can we talk about what a scum this dude is? I mean, does he just buy a bus to roll over his players specifically, or is it one that's school sanctioned, or how does he do that to be so good at everybody being at fault but him?
He borrows the one that Hugh Freeze runs over his players with in the same way, dude. Like he throws his players under the bus. Company. They do. They get a group discount.
I hope they never fire him, because one of my favorite moments every Saturday is the Hugh Freeze post press conference where he looked like somebody just told him everybody in his life died. Well,
no, you know what he looks like? He looks like that old man that just got done playing 18 rounds of golf and is drunk as shit, and somebody just told him that his wife told him he needed to come home, and he's
and then he drained the bank account, and he's like,
Dude, Hugh Freeze is
done on the 12th hole.
dude. Hugh Freeze is aging in advance right now because, dude, his quarterback stands in the pocket so long. Hugh Freeze gains another 5 years on his life.
Like I'm gonna hold y'all right. I'm gonna hold y'all for 1 second. Auburn, I salute you. Actually, I'm gonna turn to go. I salute you, Auburn. You were winners. You know why? Because 2 weeks in a row, you lost the football game and covered the spread. I got to watch you lose, bet on you and win while still losing. You know what Charlie Sheen calls that? Winning.
Winning. Tiger's blood. Winning.
Heated hand job. No, I tell you what, Saturday was a good day of football. Not even gonna lie.
It was.
I'm mad LSU doesn't play Auburn this year.
Ooh. LSU's got some losses coming on that schedule.
Hey. Yeah, but I want the two most bitchiest coaches to be in the same field, and I want to see who wins the bitch fit. I want to see who complains the most.
Say that, Lou? How could you say that?
Marvin did win some money last week, Big Poppy, and yes, I don't know if Marvin knows any Vanderbilt players to double it down with, though. That's the problem.
Hey, I want to follow up on this right here. Caleb Taylor said Auburn's O-line is pitiful. They're not great, but when Jackson Arnold stands in the pocket 7
seconds.
Dude, oh my God. He's been sacked 17 times in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You can't blame your O-line for all that, man.
Nope. That's your quarterback holding on to the ball. When you're standing in the end zone with the damn game on the line, there's got to be some kind of ticker in your head of where you're at.
Bro, by the way, can we get a health and wellness check on Chris Williams? I hadn't seen him in 2 weeks.
Well, look, when you lose games like that and look that sad, the massage parlor booking is a full-time job.
Happy endings in line. Got it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Both of those teams can do that we can't. They can stop a run.
They can.
I tell you what, but here's the question. Let's be real. I know we're all jokes aside. When you're that good on defense and that inept on offense, at some point a good defense quits. They won't keep playing to that level. And Auburn's defense is a matter of time before they quit that shit.
Yeah. Hey, Lou, I'm jealous of their linebackers.
Yeah, me too. I was gonna say,
got a defense.
Is there any way we can get some linebackers in the transfer portal? And I'm not talking about a guy that played in the Big 12 that hits some people some hard sometimes. I admit I was blinded by his highlight film too, but he's soft and light in the loafers as hell too. Bring me. Honestly, these Auburn dudes will hit you in the face.
Yeah,
they will. I want people to hit you in the face. Right. They can set an edge. I watched them set an edge. I was like, holy shit. They couldn't run outside on them.
Auburn.
If they had an offense, Auburn might be decent.
Dude, I agree with you. Auburn's linebackers look like they'd run you down outside of Holy Moly's donut shop, man. Like they beating on people, but they just can't get shit going on the other side of the ball. And I thought Hugh Freeze was the quarterback whisperer, the offensive guru.
He's a whisperer, all right. I just don't know if it's in quarterback's ears.
Yeah, he's whispering another 5.
There's 3 SEC teams with top flight defenses that suck because their offenses are so bad. LSU's got a good defense. Hell, Florida has got a lights out defense, and Auburn, like you said, will hit your ass. I would throw Oklahoma in there, but if Mateer's healthy, they also have a good offense. But man, Oklahoma's linebackers will hit your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I wanted them to sell out for Harold Perkins in the transfer portal, and no one was biting. You're like, oh, we got Deontay Lawson, we'll be fine.
Go get Harold. Harold hadn't been used right, but if used right, the dude's a freaking stud.
Dude, Harold would have been a monster. He would have been an absolute monster at Alabama.
And you could have flirted with him.
Wolf and put Quay Rusau in the middle.
Right. And can we talk about how they're playing Quay out of position? If we had Quay Rusau playing inside linebacker, people would not run the ball on us.
Absolutely not.
No, they wouldn't.
That's a thumper.
And just saying this, them boys from Clemson probably should have came to Alabama too, because Clemson ain't looking too hot right now.
Yeah, Lord.
Well, I feel like maybe we should, man. If we'd have got just one of them on, like just one of them,
because you're right, Lou. As bad as those teams are looking, everybody's talking about. They got dudes on defense that can come to a team that has an offense and let's win some football.
like we don't have a guy that can rush the passer. Like
not one.
Like not one.
Not one true pass rusher. True.
And they haven't even let Justin Hill even get a chance to rush the passer. So it's like we need to rush the passer. Imagine if we had guys that could sack a quarterback. Or imagine if we had a guy that could set, I don't know, an edge.
Imagine if every one of the wonderful fans in our chat right now, all 83, hit the like at the same time. We would have like double the likes. Imagine that.
And they subscribed.
And then they hit the subscribe. Because then
you
know what happens? They get an alert Saturday morning when this thing hits the air. Guys, it is, man, I'm gonna let's give some final thoughts because this has been a hell of a week. I mean, we just come off a win in Athens, and now we've got game day coming to Vanderbilt. Let's hit up some final thoughts. Let's tell people where they can find us, and then I'm gonna let Lou tell all these wonderful people why they need to subscribe to the Final Whistle because what's coming their way this weekend. So, guys, any final thoughts before we do all that lovely stuff?
Let me go. You know, I got Bama 35-24.
That covers. I like it. All right, Van.
Well, we have an inability to kick field goals apparently, so I'm not even gonna put a 3 anywhere. Let's see. I'm gonna go Alabama 35, Vanderbilt 13.
I like it. That tells you the defense did stop the run game.
No. We use that offense to keep the ball out of their hands. Again, I'm not giving that damn defense credit to stop somebody.
Lou, I know you're not big on giving scores. You want to give some kind of prediction?
Yeah. There's a reckoning on Saturday night. That's my prediction.
I hear you, bro.
There's going to be one hell of a reckoning. I'm not Ryan Williams say we're going to smash an ant with a hammer. Like, no, there's going to be a reckoning.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said that on Gruden's coaching show when he was with Isaiah Horton.
You mean the kid that stands in the slot, scared shitless, looking in every direction to see who's going to come hit him, so he jogs through his routes? All right, yeah, you hit that ant was when I got told by my co-host Gerald Smoke Dixon, who played cornerback at all SEC level and went to the NFL, said, "Hey guys, we might want to pump the brakes on Ryan Williams." I saw him in person because Vanderbilt cornerbacks were manning him up. Look, I love you, Ryan. You're lightning in a bottle when you do get in the open field. Show me this weekend instead of saying it. I didn't know he said that, Lou. That kind of fires me up. Like that kid, buddy, you better watch out. Latia Brooks might be taking your job.
If I was coach, he would.
Yeah. I don't think people understand. Like we've had receivers go through their whole collegiate careers and not drop as many passes as Ryan Williams has this season alone.
And in the stage he has, we're talking about multiple touchdown passes.
Oh, and forget all that. Go out and block the damn block. It's the little things, dude. Make the catch, then worry about doing something with it. Go out and block. And dude, he sells out when he's on the backside and he's not the primary target. The effort's not there. Go back and watch the film.
No, he's not. And that's a problem. Again, not to pile on.
Listen, that's the downside of reclassifying. Well, you got to grow up fast.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? This ain't high school. You got to grow up fast.
Well, he learned.
That's the reality of it.
That ain't got shit to do with catching a football.
All right.
Hit that jug machine till your hands hurt.
Part of it. The
stop making commercials. Stop doing commercials. Stop getting custom-made gloves. Stop doing Discords. And go back to keeping the main thing the main thing. Listen to what Jalen Hurts said. The man is a Super Bowl champion. The man is probably the most decorated athlete ever. He won in college. He was up for a Heisman. He's a Super Bowl MVP and a Super Bowl winner. Listen to what he said.
Offensive Player of the Year.
Right. And he kept the main thing his whole career. Smitty kept the main thing. Amari Cooper, look at your lineage, son. Look at where you came from. You're from Alabama. You should know above everybody else what you need to be freaking doing, and you ain't doing it. all you're doing is spitting in the face of every great receiver that came before you with the lack of concentration and the lack of effort.
Hey, and look, there's two sides to the coin. I know I pointed out if the Georgia kid makes the catch, if Georgia doesn't like spaz on that 4th and 1, if Ryan Williams catches that ball out of the gate, none of that shit matters then either because Bama's pulled it away. So look, but the good thing is this team finally is as deep at wide receiver as we thought they were in the previous years because Jeremy Bernard is the real freaking deal. Horton is becoming what we expected of Horton. Lots of your books, man. He is as advertised. So, again, the score is going to be all right there. Man, we keep going down rabbit holes. Lou, final thoughts before you give your final thoughts. And everybody hits that like and subscribe so they can know about the shows you're going to tell them about.
Like I said, my final thoughts is going to be a reckoning. I'm going to go ahead and plug the shows and get everybody out of here because it is getting kind of late. Yeah. So, up first, Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m. Central, we got the Saturday a.m. Scramble. It's going to be a hot one. We got some games to break down. There was hella upsets last weekend, and me and my crew are going to get into it. We're also going to get into top 25 matchups and possible upsets coming your way this Saturday. Again, that's at 8:30 a.m. Central right here on the Final Whistle Network. And like every other Saturday, you can catch the Final Whistle post-game show, the Ivory Room. It'll be me, Van, hopefully Dan, and anybody else that wants to join. And we're going to break down what happens against the Troubadours. And we keep it honest. We keep it short. We don't keep anybody around. We give our thoughts, some meaning, some shout-outs, and we get you out of here. I want to thank everybody for coming. It was a great show. We kept you kind of long tonight. But when you're talking Crimson Tide football, the time can get away. So, Petty, why don't you take us out, brother, man?
Let's do it. Crap, the sideshow got me. Man, it has been a great show tonight, guys. Like you said, follow, subscribe so you can get all that wonderful content. Don't normally cross over. I know the Bama Standard was in here with us tonight. I will be at the Bryant Museum Friday night doing the Friday night thing. If you're in Tuscaloosa, come give us a shout. I'll be there signing all the boobies. So bring them out. But with that said, man, this is where it started. The Avengers, Tuesday nights, one of my favorite hours. It's my time to get away from all that is and talk about the great double agent nothing. I get to talk about the greatest college football program on the planet. And I got to watch them this last Saturday night do the thing that I love most, be Alabama. And I'm ready to see it again this Saturday night versus Vanderbilt. And like Lou said, man, it's all possible because of you guys coming out and watching us. Our crowd keeps growing. You coming over and you're finding us at the Final Whistle because the product is good. These guys are badasses. I love you all. Roll Tide. Crap. Do we need to give, I guess, man, I might be jumping the gun. Do we need to give socials or do we got all that? Dan, where do we find you, man? Where do we find you? Let's roll Tide and get out of here.
Twitter, Final Whistle Dan. Thank
you. We love you, Dan. You're the man.
You can catch me on Facebook saying a bunch of unnecessary shit, and you can catch me throwing rocks at Auburn fans that are on the chain gang picking up garbage. I appreciate every one of y'all for being here. That's a big Roll Tide, fellas.
It's a big Roll Tide. We'll see y'all Saturday and then back again next Tuesday. Roll Tide. Don't give a piss.
We don't give a piss about nothing but the time.
Blitz, Bama, blitz.
Roll damn Tide, baby.
And we ain't gonna lie about it either. Roll it.